He's especially rare if you get him out of bed at 4 a.m., said Alexander Pape. The combination of exhaustion and fin de série morality is a regular salad. Everyone was pretty miffed at Pape for being first to think of seeing Garvey at dawn. Nevertheless, interest ran high after midnight in late October. Mr. Garvey's subconscious told him in utmost secrecy that he was the opener of a theatrical season, his success dependent upon the staying power of the ennui he inspired in others. Enjoying himself, he nevertheless guessed why these lemmings thronged to his private sea. Underneath, Garvey was a surprisingly brilliant man, but his unimaginative parents had crushed him in the terribly strange bed of their environment. From there, he had been thrown to a large lemon squeezer, his office, his factory, his wife. The result, a man whose potentialities were a time bomb in his own parlor. The Garveys' repressed subconscious half recognized that the avant-gardists had never met anyone like him, or rather had met millions like him, but had never considered studying one before. So here he was, the first of autumn's celebrities. Next month it might be some abstractionist from Allentown who worked on a 12-foot ladder shooting house paint in two colors only, blue and cloud gray, from cake decorators and insecticide sprayers on canvas covered with layers of mucilage and coffee grounds, who simply needed appreciation to growl, or a Chicago tin cutter of mobiles, age 15, already ancient with knowledge. Mr. Garvey's shrewd subconscious grew even more suspicious when he made the terrible mistake of reading the avant-garde's favorite magazine, Nucleus. This article on Dante now, said Garvey, fascinating, especially where it discusses the spatial metaphors conveyed in the foothills of the Antipurgatorio and the Paradiso Terrestri on top of the mountain. The bit about cantos 15 through 18, the so-called doctrinal cantos, is brilliant. How did the Cellar Septet react? Stunned, all of them. There was a noticeable chill. They departed in short order when, instead of being delightfully mass-minded, keep up with the Joneses, machine-dominated chap leading a wishy-washy life of quiet desperation, Garvey engaged them with opinions on does existentialism still exist, or is craft ebbing. They didn't want opinions on alchemy and symbolism given in a piccolo voice. Garvey's subconsciousness warned him. They only wanted Garvey's good old-fashioned plain white bread and churned country butter, to be chewed on later at a dim bar, exclaiming, "How priceless!" Garvey retreated. Next night he was his old, precious self. Dale Carnegie, a splendid religious leader. Hart, Schaefer, and Marx, better than Bond Street. Member of the Aftershave Club? That was Garvey. Latest book of the month? Here on the table. Had they ever tried Eleanor Glynn? The Cellar Septet was horrified, delighted. They let themselves be bludgeoned into watching Milton Berle. Garvey laughed at everything Berle said. It was arranged for neighbors to tape-record various daytime soap operas, which Garvey replayed evenings with religious awe, while the Cellar Septet analyzed his face and his complete devotion to Ma Perkins and John's other wife. Yes, Garvey was getting sly. His inner self observed, "You're on top. Stay there. Please your public. Tomorrow, play the Two Black Crows records. Mind your step, Bonnie Baker, now." That's it. They'll shudder, incredulous, that you really like her singing. What about Guy Lombardo? That's the ticket. The mob mind, said his subconscious. You're symbolic of the crowd. They come to study the dreadful vulgarity of this imaginary mass man they pretend to hate, but they're fascinated with the snake pit. Guessing his thought, his wife objected. "They like you." "In a frightening sort of way," he said. "I've lain awake figuring why they should come see me. Always hated and bored myself, stupid tattletale gray man. Not an original thought in my mind. All I know now is I love company. I've always wanted to be gregarious, never had the chance. It's been a ball these last months. But their interest is dying. I want company forever. What shall I do? His subconscious provided shopping lists. Beer. It's unimaginative. Pretzels. Delightfully passé. Stop by Mother's. Pick up Maxfield Parrish painting. The fly-specked sunburnt one. Lecture on same tonight.